Now that I've shown you my plans on how I designed the closet, I am going to show you the actual build of the cabinets that are actually in place right now. When I first started thinking about this closet, one of the things I thought about doing with the space was having a center island. It's very similar to what you have in a kitchen. It's just a cabinet in the middle with a countertop, and they're great for extra storage. They you can use the countertop as a folding surface, so that's something that really appealed to me. And I did build a center island. Right now, I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep it, but time will tell. So that first cabinet right there was the first cabinet that I built for the center island, and you can see I already put in the drawer glides in preparation for having tons of storage. So I built two of them, and you can see them right in the middle. I wanted to have them joined together. At first I thought of side by side, then I thought end to end, and it's just still all over the place because I have a lot of space to work with, but I kind of need to figure out the final configuration. They're not attached to anything right now. They're not nailed to any floor or platform, and it's easy for me to move them around while I decide exactly what I want to do with them, if I'll even keep them. Keep watching, and I'll tell you what I decide. So then that's the back end of them. They're just plain cabinets with 4 drawers each, and yeah, exactly the same size. Then I started designing the ones that are going to be actually screwed onto the platform that I showed you in the design. And I built the first two, tested them for fit. That's one thing I've learned to do all the time. Before nailing anything, before gluing anything, just do a test fit and see whether everything works. And these ones fit perfectly exactly how I wanted. I was very lucky. This closet floor was pretty level. I didn't have to do too many shims on the platform. But later on, as I continue the build, you do get to start variations, mainly because of the wood cupping or bowing. It's never perfect. So I ended up shimming later on. But as you can see, I started with the side that has the most storage in the form of drawers. Continued the build. I got to the corner and I had a kind of a conflict because I kept on thinking, like, do I want to keep the corner? Even because sometimes those corners just end up being a dark space where you can't really reach into anything. But then again, because I'm going to build something on top, what do I use for supporting the top cabinet? So that was some of the problems that I ran into. And I decided to end up just building something in the corner. And so there you can see the 4 cabinets complete. I built them out first, put in all the drawer glides. It's so much easier to put drawer glides in when you can lay the cabinet flat on its side. Easier to mark spacing and everything. And these ones, I wanted perfection. And you can see everything was very precise. Everything fitted exactly as I wanted. So I was very happy about that. And then the next side, of course, I had to use a child to test for fit. This always works and provides exciting moments during my build when I get my children involved. And then this was part of me trying to check what to do with that corner in the back there. That is a corner cabinet I decided to end up building. And you can see it's almost like 2 cabinets put together, but with only half of it opening. And it's because the closed side gets attached to a physical cabinet, and it will become clearer in the build as I keep going. These were really big and heavy to lift and bring into the house, so yeah, it was quite a task. And I just wanted to show you what it takes sometimes, the precision involved in just preparing the wood for the build. That channel pointed out by the green arrow is where my LED aluminum channels go in. These are so precise. You really want to get it precise because you don't want them being able to move around, but you also don't want it to be too tight that the channels don't quite fit in. So you have to get, woodworking becomes very precise in that way. So I got a drill bit, an unusual size, 13/16 of an inch, and I used those drill down to, I cut the channel down to a 3/8 of an inch depth to take on the aluminum channel. The little channel on the side is what I was talking about in the design video. The one I was talking about, like, this is where I place my my backing for the cabinet. The 1/4 inch plywood slides into the back of, and this is the groove that it goes into. Again, tons of precision. That space between the LED channel and the plywood channel is exactly 2 inches, and the the space between the 1/4 inch groove and the edge of the cabinet is 3/4 of an inch. And the reason I did that is because I want to be able to brace all my cabinets using a 3/4 inch piece of plywood to keep it square, and I'll be able to show that in detail as I move along. And that's me testing for the LED channel. You can see the channel fits perfectly. I used LED lights from a company called Flexfire LEDs. I'll put a link on for them in their channel. This is not a sponsored video by them, but I really recommend them. Their customer service is the best. They give extremely good help. They have a design team that you can ask anytime to help you with your products. You can they can recommend lights for you. They can recommend other fixtures for you. So I found them to be a really solid company to work with. I would use them again and again. And then I started again. This is the right hand side of the closet. As you walk in, you can see the door. So this is the right hand side. Again, it's going to have a whole bank of cabinets. But on this side, because this is my husband's side and he has more clothes that need to be on hangers, I considered not putting in any drawers because he can use either what I have on the island or what I have on my side of the closet. So, and you'll see it as it develops, it becomes clearer. So again, just another view of the cabinets. I was so proud of this at this point because I was starting to make progress. It was starting to look real, and it was also becoming easier to explain to, especially my husband, because he didn't understand what I was trying to do. But when I started to be able to dry fit things, it gave him a really good view of what the achievement was going to be. So really happy with myself at this point. And there you see what I was talking about, the corner cabinet. As you can see, right from on top, it takes up that space perfectly. Again, measuring is just everything in woodworking. Precision is everything. I had a very tight fit and I really needed it to fit nicely. I was very, very lucky that the walls were plumb at this point, and I only have like a slight bow in the drywall just at the corner, but that is easily covered up by the cabinet, so I'm not too worried about that. And then you can see that's some more progress as it comes along around the corner. In between the two corners coming around to meet each other, I had this middle gap that was slightly bigger than any other cabinet that I had built, about 37.5 inches wide, and I wanted to do something unique. I played around with the idea of having either a dresser, a mirror, a pull-out shoe cabinet. I mean, I played with every idea I thought possible. But what I settled with was going to be a wide cabinet, 36 inches wide and still 24 inches deep. But what I was going to do about the pull-out drawers was they're going to be shallower than the other ones, and that way you can still see the stuff that's folded inside, and it was going to be able to take up bulky things like the warmer clothing like sweaters and stuff like that. So I decided to make shallower drawers for that, and I'll show you. So this is what I ended up with. So this particular cabinet here is for the lower cabinets. The upper cabinets have a similar one. It's just going to be taller. And what I did was made sure that the light will be able to flow through the back because I didn't want that obscured by having pull-out drawers. So I really like how those came out. They look really, really nice. And I like the look of raw wood on them. And that's the shallow shelves pulled out. As you can see, they're slightly narrower than the cabinet itself. It's hard to tell on this picture, but they really are like 2 inches narrower. And that's a picture of them pulled back in. And then I put this piece, the drawer front that I put on them are also shallow because I didn't want to obscure the view into the cabinet because I have the lights in there, and I thought, you know what, I probably should be able to fold things, make them nice and pretty enough to be able to, to warrant the view into the drawers. And that's the drawer fronts out there. You can see them. I finished off those with an 1/8 inch of walnut strip so that it matches the rest of the cabinet. Very proud of how that looked like. Installed those very easily, and now you can see how it lines up with everything. So that piece completed all the lower cabinet build, and all I had to do now was attach the cabinets to each other and to the platform and to the wall. That did not go badly because, again, the platform was very level. Everything was plumb, and I made sure all the cabinets were square. So that went really well. So I was really, really happy with that progress up to that point. And just a few shims that you can see, just made sure that, parts that were not quite level, made them perfect. So I was very, very happy with this build at this point. And that's another view of it. I just did some glamour shots at this point because I was so happy. And you can see what I was talking about, having an island. Now you can visualize where the island would be. So I'm still toying around with what to do with the island. If I'll even keep it, we'll see. Stay tuned for the next videos that show you that. Again, that's another view, just a view from the door. After that, I built all the drawers for the cabinets on the left hand side of the closet. Built all the drawers. Initially, I thought I'd have 16 of them, but I ended up losing one so that I have a bit of ventilation where I have the power supply for my LED lights. So all of them are standard build, similar measurements all through. But again, very impressive storage for me. Nice deep drawers, and I really like that a lot. So yeah, so stay tuned for the next one. I'm starting to work on the upper cabinet and also the top cabinet. I'm also going to try and get some images for installing the LED lighting. Those are a very interesting project for me. Never done those before. Stay tuned for the future build where I show you how I incorporate the lights into the build. Again, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Click on notifications and click on all to get notified every time I put up new material. I do appreciate your audience. Like the videos and leave me comments if you like. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.